Self-help promises a lot, but here's the hard truth. Not everything works, and some advice can even set you back. After 2,300 hours of diving into it, I've learned what truly makes a difference. And the most important lesson? It's not about the goals you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. Let's dive in. Most of your life is spent in the process, not at the finish line. The finish line, it's just a moment, but the process, that's where you'll spend your time. The greatest lessons, the real growth happen in the struggle. That's where resilience is built, where character is shaped, and where transformation begins. But here's the thing, your mind can trick you. It can make you focus only on the destination, or worse, on the fear of failing along the way. Have you ever watched a scary movie, right? You know it's fake, you know it's safe, but your heart races, your palms sweat, and somehow your mind convinces you that the killer is coming for you. Then later, you're in the shower, you're alone, you know there's no one else in the house, but still you keep one eye open because deep down you feel like the moment you rinse the shampoo out of your hair, that's when the killer will strike. That's the power of your mind. It can take something that isn't even real, just an idea, and make it feel like a genuine threat. Now, let's imagine turning that same power toward growth, toward the process. Instead of dreading the work, you focus on the lessons, the resilience, and the strength you're building along the way. Speaking of lessons learned along the way, here's one that changed everything for me. This one might be the hardest. Realizing I had to give myself my own value. And I'll be honest, it didn't come easy. For the longest time, my self-worth was tied to my relationships. My partner determined how I felt about myself. When things were good, I felt amazing. But when they weren't, my value disappeared. I thought I wasn't good enough. But here's what I realized. If my value depended on my relationships, I'd always be at the mercy of them. And that wasn't sustainable. And the shift started with kindness to myself. I stopped seeing the end of a relationship as proof I wasn't worthy, and I started asking better questions. If someone wasn't willing to fight for us, were they really the right person for me? The answer? No. And then I did the work. I reflected on what I needed to improve on, because growth is part of the process. But I also reminded myself of what I already bring to the table. My willingness to make things work, my ability to own my own mistakes, and my drive to grow. I stopped relying on others to define me, and I started living life on my terms. If you let others determine your worth, take it back. Start small, reflect on your strengths, and define your value for yourself. And this ties perfectly into another lesson. I've learned one that builds momentum over time. Now here's a lesson that might sound simple, but it's a game changer. Small wins compound over time. Growth isn't about doing everything perfectly or making massive changes overnight. It's about showing up consistently, even in small ways. Think of it like planting seeds. One day of effort might not look like much, but over time, these seeds grow into something powerful. 1% improvement each day adds up to something extraordinary over a year. For me, celebrating small wins helped me stay motivated. Whether it was a quick gym session or choosing to reflect instead of react, it all adds up. Those small wins created momentum, and momentum creates change. So don't underestimate the power of small actions. Celebrate them, whether it's one step toward a goal or one decision to show up for yourself. Those wins build the foundation for long-term growth. And while small wins build momentum, there's a deeper truth I had to face. I'm in control of my own happiness and success. Here's a tough pill to swallow. You are in control of your happiness, success, or lack thereof. That doesn't mean life isn't hard. It doesn't mean things won't knock you down, but ultimately how you respond, what you choose to focus on, and how you move forward, that's on you. For the longest time, I blamed external circumstances for how I felt. If something went wrong, it wasn't my fault, but that mindset, that kept me stuck. It gave my power away. And when I finally took ownership, when I stopped looking outside myself for happiness and success, I felt free. Owning your happiness and success empowers you. It doesn't mean life gets easier, but it means you get better equipped to handle the challenges, the losses, the setbacks, because you're no longer waiting for someone or something else to save you. You've taken the reins. Now, let me ask you something. Do you really believe you're in control of your mind, or do you feel like you're at the mercy of your emotions? Think about it for a moment. Then share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And speaking of perspective, there's one more shift that truly is the most impactful. Gratitude. It's simple but powerful, and I promise you, when you cultivate it, life takes on a whole new perspective, one that's sweeter, more beautiful, and more fulfilling. But let me be real, gratitude isn't just about the good times. It's about finding the silver lining in the hardest moments. And that's where it matters the most. When life hits hard, gratitude helps you find strength. It doesn't erase the pain, but it reveals the lessons hidden in the struggle. And those lessons, they're the stepping stones to growth. Look, practicing gratitude isn't always easy, but those are the moments when it matters most. Focused on what you still have, not just on what you've lost. This shift changes everything. So those are the biggest lessons I've learned from 2,300 hours of personal growth. Start before you're ready, embrace the process, celebrate small wins, give yourself your own value, and remember, you're in control of your happiness. Most importantly, it's who you become along the way that matters most. Now, if you're ready to take things even further, there's one more tool you can use: pain. Pain is the ultimate motivator, and when you learn how to harness it, it becomes a powerful force for change. So click here and learn how to use pain as a motivator to transform your life.